Hey, what's up guys? It's Cliff from Trail Grid Pro, and today I'm super excited to debut the new Alpine GPS USB stick, which pairs perfectly with your Trail Grid Pro Alpine F507, F509, or F511 head unit bundle. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to walk through the complete setup of the USB stick when paired with your Alpine Toyota bundle, and we're going to take it out in the field and show you exactly how it works and what you can expect out of your new Alpine GPS navigation stick. All right, so I have the little guy right here. Let's go ahead and get this box open so that you can see exactly what to expect when you purchase your Alpine USB stick. And there you go. Pretty sweet and clean presentation right there by Alpine. So let's go ahead and take it out. Super small, fits right in the palm of your hands. All you're going to do is remove the backing, and you've got access to a USB-A connection, which is just going to plug directly into your factory USB location, just like that. Now, what we're going to do first is show you exactly how to set this up, and you're going to want to do this before you hit the road and expect to use your USB stick, because you don't want to be caught without any connection or any cellular ability, which would prevent you from getting this set up. So what you're going to want to do to ensure that your new USB GPS stick is ready to roll is first check the firmware version on your 507, F509, or F511, and make sure that you're running version 5.0.001 or higher, and if you're not, you're going to want to update to at least that. Now, this update was released in the beginning of September 2023. So if you haven't updated your firmware since then, I would assume that it needs to be updated. If you bought your head unit even after that date, it's still possible that you need to update it. So just go ahead and check it, and we're going to put the details below of how to update your firmware on your 507 or F509 or F511 so you can do it quickly. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to plan about 30 to 45 minutes for that update to take place. You have two ways that you can do it. You can do it via loading the firmware onto a USB stick and plugging it into your factory USB in order to load the firmware update, or you can do it over a Wi-Fi connection. We've found that the USB loaded firmware update is faster, maybe by about 15 minutes. So if you're in a time crunch, use that method. But you can also, if you're sitting in front of your driveway and want to update it with the Wi-Fi from your house, you can connect your Alpine bundle to your house Wi-Fi and run the firmware update that way. So we're going to list the comprehensive, as I said, instructions for the firmware update in the description below. But just to show you real quick where that firmware update will occur, we've gone ahead and put the vehicle in accessory power. And as a reminder, in order to load your setup screen, you have to press your e-brake, release it, and then press it again. That will enable this setup icon to light up, which means now we can access it. So we're going to go in here into the setup screen. We're going to want to be in system. Okay, so once we're in system, then we scroll down here to the bottom. On the bottom, there's software update. Okay, right here you can see I'm running version 5.0.001. So I am already up to date. If you're not, this is exactly where you want to be to either load in your firmware update stick or to run it over Wi-Fi. You would just click update, choose the option that you want to either do over Wi-Fi or via the stick, and proceed through the process. Again, give yourself 30 to 45 minutes to do that. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go back to the home screen and let's break out the star of the show. Let's go ahead and remove the backing, and we're going to plug it in and go through the setup process. Okay, so once we plug it in, it's going to eventually light up here. It should light up yep, there we go. And essentially it's initializing with the head unit. Okay, so it's telling us to check our surroundings, then check your Android device. That's normal. That's just part of this process. It's loading. It's obviously not an Android device, but that's just the prompt that's given. As we can see here, now it's loading to the Alpine stick. Okay, so here we are. So we've got two icons here. Wow, that's pretty simple. So we've got the settings icon, and then we've got the iGo navigation. So we can just go right into the iGo navigation, and it's loading the iGo navigation. User license agreement, feel free to scroll through here. Looks like a light read. I'm just gonna hit accept. Sounds good to me. Okay, so it's going to go through the configuration wizard. All right, so now we get to choose who we want to listen to while we're using this. We got Zoe.
Have a nice trip. Drive carefully.
All right, that's Zoe. We got Tom.
Have a nice trip. Drive carefully.
All right, sounds a little computerish. Apparently this is Amy, who will sound less computerish.
Have a nice trip. Drive carefully.
And she's a little louder too. How about Dave?
Have a nice trip. Drive carefully.
Anyway, the point is you can choose different options. I think I'm going to go with Amy.
Have a nice trip. Drive carefully.
There we go. All right, Amy, you win. Okay, so different units and formats that we can choose here. I've got distance, so we got miles and feet. We're in the US, so that makes sense. Fuel economy, miles per gallon. Weight, we've got metric ton, that's fine. Time format, I want 12 hours. You can obviously change that to 24 hours if you want to. Let's go ahead and, whoop, I want to, actually there's a few more down here. All right, the date format, I'm going to stay there. 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 4-digit year. Date delimiter, that looks good. And then the coordinate display format, that all looks good to me. So let's go ahead and click next. So we can choose vehicle type here. So we could be a car, an emergency vehicle, bus, or taxi. We're obviously a car, we're none of those things. Route planning, fastest makes the most sense. And then there's some other options down here where what road types do we want to consider? So I think out of the box, all of them are checked, but you can uncheck some of these if you want to. So it looks like carpool lanes, HOV is turned off right out of the box. So you can check that if you want to, but everything is checked here. Anything you don't want, four-wheel drive tracks or unpaved roads, you can uncheck those and it won't take you those directions, but I'm just going to leave those all checked for now. All right, so it's telling us we have completed the initial setup, and let's go ahead and hit finish. Looks like they're telling us to drive carefully, so yes, drive carefully, please. Accept. All right, and here is our first glimpse at the actual GPS, satellite GPS, which is being powered by a stick that we've plugged into the factory USB location. One of the common questions that we get when somebody is purchasing one of these bundles is, does it maintain my factory satellite GPS that was in my factory radio? And the answer is no. Why? Because a lot of today's technology runs off of the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto interface. So you have Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps, all of those require very little data these days. So it's not real data eater like it used to be. So they don't have the native navigation like we used to have in our factory head units. That's fine. But what if we go off grid? What if there's the chance that we run out of cell coverage? Or worse, what if our phone dies mid-trip? This is a safety precaution that enables us to have navigation no matter what. All right, now that we have everything loaded here, it's completely set up, ready to go. We're gonna hit the road and test this. So we're gonna take normal routes to get to what we call here in Frederick, the watershed. It's just a little off-road area, nothing rigorous, nothing crazy, but we're gonna go test this thing out in the wilderness a little bit, so let's get on the road. All right, so we've navigated out here to the Frederick watershed. This is a beautiful little spot that we've pulled up to, got some rocks, got some trees, all sorts of good stuff. We navigated here using Apple CarPlay. So Apple CarPlay took us all the way here with turn-by-turn directions. But let me show you something. We have absolutely zero service. As you can see there, we're switching between 1 bar and SOS, okay? Apple CarPlay brought us to this destination with turn-by-turn directions. So we put in the destination while we were at the shop. It navigated us here with turn-by-turn directions, but we can't do the same in reverse. Now, we've been here a bunch of times, so we know exactly how to get out of here, but imagine you're a place you've never been to before. So this is where the Alpine USB GPS stick comes into play. You can plug it right into your factory USB location, and you'll have the peace of mind that you'll be able to get out of any place that you find yourself in. All right, so that's enough talk. Let's get in the vehicle, and I'll show you exactly how it works. All right, here we are in the rig, and I preloaded, well, I tried to preload Apple Maps, and I can't. As you can see here, there's absolutely nothing on the screen. The interesting fact is we're probably less than 10 miles away from our shop in Frederick, Maryland, and we have zero cell service. So fortunately, if you get caught in this position, you can get the Alpine stick, which is gonna get you out of a jam. So let's show you exactly how that works. All right, so I got the Alpine stick right here. Let's go ahead, remove the back, put it into position. Plug it right into the factory USB, super easy. Okay, so we've got navigation loaded, so let's go ahead and press that. It's going to load up our USB navigation stick. That's going to get us out of the wilderness. Okay, so we're going to press iGo navigation. Loading iGo. Let's go ahead and accept here. Okay, so obviously it's loading navigation, which Apple CarPlay in Apple Maps or Google Maps did not do, so that's great news. And all we want to do here is we want to get back to where we came from. So what we're going to show here is we're going to get to address. All right, so we're going to start punching in the address here. This is enter street name. So let's enter in Progress Drive, which is where we want to go. That's the office. So let's punch that in. All right, so it brings up Progress Drive. Next, it's going to ask us for the house number, or in our case, office number. So we're at 8435. We got that right there, 8435. It's calculating route. There you go. That's our turn-by-turn directions, which you might expect just from Apple Maps, Google Maps, Waze, but we're in a pinch, and fortunately we have the Alpine stick. Now, there's also off-road mode, which is interesting. So off-road mode brings you a compass here in the middle, brings you coordinates on either side, but as you can see here, what it's done is it's given us directions as the crow flies, which is obviously not what we want. Here, look at this. I'll zoom out a little bit. You'll see a straight line back to the office. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, it's just a straight line. We don't want off-road mode. We want to take roads. So you can see there, it changed. There we go. It changed here to the actual roads that we want to take in order to get back. Boom, there it is. So it's going to give us turn-by-turn directions. This is the trail right in front of us. We're going to just come out here, make a left, and we're going to get our way home, which is a great peace of mind to have in your pocket or in your glove compartment. All right, guys, so we went through some of the basic functionality of the new Alpine USB GPS navigation stick, and frankly, we're sold. I instantly feel like I have safety, security, and peace of mind in my pocket or in my glove box or in my center console. And for me, that's priceless. All right, guys, well, thanks a lot for hanging out with us today. Hope you enjoyed this. You can pick up the new Alpine USB navigation stick in the Trail Grip Pro shop at www.trailgrippro.com. And as always, guys, have a blast out there.